I'm Rebel Rabbit, and you're watching Bump in the Night TV.
Welcome to Bump in the Night. I'm your host, Orson Hales, and with me is the henchman extreme, the sidekick who digs me up after every death, Bourbon Hitchcok. So we've got a very spooky episode for you tonight. Why don't you tell them what it's about, Bourbon?
Ooh, we got ghosts in the night. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Ghosts in horror movies.
All right, so paranormal activity stuff, and ghosts and all things afterlife related.
All things scary and spooky.
So, do you have a film that scared you when you were a little, Bourbon?
The movie that bothered me the most, I would say, would be Poltergeist. That thing creeped me out even today. You know, you watch it with a building on the cemetery, what was it, what, Indian burial grounds, what it was? Yeah, I think that's what it was, Indian burial grounds. And then, you know, now, they lost me on part 2 and I think part 3. Those 2 movies were totally off kilter, but to me, can't get no better than Poltergeist.
I have to agree, Poltergeist is probably the top. Now, 2, they lost a little bit, but the overall storyline was so much darker with the cult, that doomsday cult that had killed herself on the leader's quest and were haunting the family. I thought that was terrifying. For me, as a young corpse, Ghost Story.
Yeah, I like that, and that was a good movie. That was the old, what was like a Fred Astaire movie?
Yeah, it was like the last hurrah for some of those guys from the Golden Age.
Yeah, but, I vaguely remember it, but yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing it a few times.
So yeah, you had like 4 childhood friends, 3 guys and a girl, and she dies in a horrible accident. And
yeah, I remember that one. Another one would be switch gears a little bit on you, move up to more of modern times. More of the millennials would remember this one. Would be Others with Nicole Kidman, where I think in that one it was her and her kids. They thought these people were ghosts haunting them in the house, and then at the end of the movie they realized that they were the ghosts, and the things they thought was a ghost was the actual people that lived in the home. So it was kind of a...
Oh yeah, with the possession of the daughter with the other child. That was probably the highlight for scary in that film.
Yes.
I'll tell you, Legend of Hell House.
Ooh, Legend of Hell House.
The paranormal investigators going to a famous, I think, Bellicosa family mansion that was haunted. Had Roddy McDowall in it, who was actually, I think, the voice for C-3PO, if I'm correct.
Yes. Yeah, I like that movie. Another one would be Grave Encounters. Remember that one?
I love Grave Encounters. A paranormal research group goes around and looks at I believe it was a mental institution. And all kinds of chicanery and shenanigans went on there.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. What about, let's see here, move forward a little bit again, and what about Witchboard?
Witchboard. Just the Ouija board itself terrifies me, because bad experience when I was on my 2nd or 3rd life, guess early teen corpse. We experimented with it in really bad situations with shadow people and stuff. Did you ever have any experiences with the Ouija board?
Well, me and a friend of mine, a long time ago, he had an apartment that was it was his mom's home, and his room was up in the attic. And in the attic, they did find a Ouija board, along with some other stuff that was non-cult related. And so what we had done is we did the whole normal thing, hollering at it, you know, asking for it. And we heard some stuff, and when we took our hands off of it, the centerpiece flew off the board. And we threw it away and never messed with it again. Ever.
You hear stories of people trying to burn it and it doesn't burn, or throwing it away and it returns back to them. And when we got rid of ours, it did not come back, thank goodness. Other things is there used to be a local haunted house in the town that I grew up in, and we would go and try and scare ourselves by looking for stuff. And I remember one time we were looking at the house and getting the heebie-jeebies, and we saw something that looked like a very typical, like, 1950s ghost, the sheeted white ghost with the chains and all that stuff. And we were all laughing, oh, look, a ghost, you know, and then it actually stepped through the window. And I think that's when my hair fell out.
Oh, wow. Now, the movie we're talking about, Witchboard, it is similar to the modern day version of the movie Ouija, isn't it? Would it be? Because Ouija was more of a...
Ouija, that's what I clean my car with. Ouija board. Ouija.
Ouija. So Ouija, isn't it?
Yeah,
Ouija.
So German, French for yes, yes.
Ah, yes. So do you have any more, or any of your, I mean, a really, really good strong one that you...
Let's see here. I mean, we've named most of my favorites. I mean, House of Haunted Hill, both the Vincent Price version and the remake with the actor that played Barbossa in Pirates of the Caribbean. What was his name? Jeffrey Rush, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, he did one where he basically played like a William Castle, Vincent Price knockoff, and great special effects and a great story. I went to the theaters expecting a B-movie rendition, and it's one of my top 10 haunted house films.
Yeah, I liked it.
All right, so tonight's guests, speaking of ghosts, are professional ghost chasers. They are debunking, and let's see here, their name is... tonight's guest is a paranormal research group, Paranormal Help Ministries. Let's take a look at some of their footage right now.
We don't need it because the strobe light's enough.
Okay, this thing is sliding up me. It's going shh, shh. Touching the back of my hair. He's trying to intimidate me, showing me what he wants to do to me. Black hooded figure, pulling my head back, cutting my throat.
I rebuke that in Jesus' name. That was me exhaling, if anybody heard that. Guys, it is hard as a husband to hear her say stuff like this.
Another black shadow in the distance coming this way.
Yeah. There'll be 2 camera left.
I feel feet stomping. I feel the vibration. Is anybody stomping?
You can't hear us, Leah, but no.
So no, Jimmy, it is not.
What is that?
It's getting hot in here. It's actually getting colder.
Hidden.
It's getting colder, Jimmy.
We left our meter upstairs.
The footage you just saw was from Paranormal Help Ministries. These are my guests tonight. Tell everybody your names and what you do for this company.
Yeah, my name's Ed Morgan. I'm the overseer of Paranormal Help Ministries. We just help out local groups and families that have some activity. We come in and just get the facts. And so I just make sure everybody's on board. We coordinate with the clients and everything like that. Mike?
I'm Mike Golston. I'm the demonologist and spiritual advisor. I deal with the dark side of things, basically.
And I'm Leah Golston. I'm, I don't know what you would call me. I'm, I guess, the discernment advisor and pretty much team admin as well. Kind of keeping these guys organized and
We need it.
and together.
Double duty. I like
Yes.
that. So how can people reach you?
Absolutely. Just check us out on Facebook. You can look up Paranormal Help Ministries. Make sure you put Paranormal Help Ministries. If not, you'll find some weird stuff out there. And you can go on the internet at paranormalhelpministries.com. You can also check us out at paranormalhelpoutlook.com to send us an email. So that's how you get a hold of us.
All right, so how long have y'all been doing this?
Mike?
Wow. Well, as a team, we've been together for, I'd say, if you add in various incarnations, we've been doing this about 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
As a team, collectively, you're looking at over 30 years of experience here.
Wow. So we'll get to it right now. What's the scariest thing this group has experienced?
Wow. Scary as in ha-ha scary or the dark side scary?
Dealer's choice.
Wow. I would say the...
Residents in
Yep.
Georgia.
In Georgia, yeah. We actually had an investigation. We got called out actually by the son. It was an emergency case, and those cases that are involved children or potential suicide or mental health issues, we respond immediately, and we responded that night. We went in and did some investigations, and it was a very uncomfortable case. We usually don't get off edge on anything, but we definitely did that night. Mike, you want to go into more detail?
Trying to just remember everything we dealt with. I mean, it was difficult because of the son being involved.
Mm-hmm.
Can't recall his name right off the top of my head, but I know that I'm glad that he was able. The good news out of the whole thing was at the end he was able to get some help.
Yep.
I know that Leah had quite a few experiences that night that were a little bit troubling.
Okay. I just want to verify.
You talking about the one in South Georgia or near my house, Georgia, the farm?
I was thinking of with the female.
Oh, I think we're all talking about a different case here.
We've had several Georgia cases that have been on the dark side.
That just sounds completely terrifying. For each one of you have a different top horror.
Right.
So I think the one that we're discussing, it was probably a couple hours from here, and it involved an adult son. and a client that was had some suicide tendencies. She opened some doors unbeknownst to her, and we went in, we investigated. We had some really strange activity that night. As a matter of fact, I believe on the way out from our initial walkthrough, we always videotape and get a baseline of everything. But on the way out, we actually located drops of blood on the way back out. And we went back and checked on video, and on the way in, those drops of blood was not there.
Right.
So, Bourbon has a very important question he wants to ask you. Go ahead, Bourbon.
I've been thinking about it all day. I think it's very important. Have you ever smelt a fart from a ghost?
A ghost?
Yes, a ghost fart. Have you ever smelled a ghost fart?
So we actually had a case.
What?
So we actually had a case. This is why we carry radios and we communicate.
And you thought it was a stupid question.
There's a theory that when you smell sulfur, it's usually demonic, right? And
Yes.
that immediately, Mike and I tend to communicate because we have to watch Leah because she's more sensitive. Mike and I are kind of blind to a lot of this stuff. And Mike and I immediately, and so did Leah, realized what we had smelt. And from in the back room, we hear, "That was me." And it was an investigator who had ate some really bad stuff the night before.
I mean, we were on point. It was like, "And you smell it? Yeah, all right, let's get ready." That was me.
And it was
Not really a ghost.
You were almost there. Almost there.
Well, I will say it was bad enough. If there was a ghost in that house, it would have left. It was bad. It was a really bad night that night.
Bourbon's done that a bunch. So not paranormal injuries, but real injuries while you're investigating. What's the worst thing that's happened to you? Like trip over a tombstone or bang your head and have to get stitches on an attic? What?
Well, luckily we haven't had to go to a hospital or anything, but we have had just kind of basic things. We're dealing with natural phenomenon like EMF, headaches, sensitivities to that. Mike has fallen into holes, or at least twisted an ankle or two, and
I am the hole finder of the team. If there is a hole in that location, I will find it.
So that's your psychic ability.
Yes, it's like
absolutely.
there's a hole in the floor.
Found it.
Yes.
So I actually, when I first right after high school, I was investigating with some local folks before Mike and I and Leah hooked up together, worked together, and we've actually been on a couple different teams, different organizations, and we finally got, this is where our clientele's at. But I was investigating an abandoned house, which I never would suggest, and I broke a cardinal rule that we have now is we walk through daytime. And the reason is that we just don't want to find a hole in the floor. And I speak from personal experience, because I walked through a hole in the floor and I fell 2 stories down. And it was about 13 hours later till somebody came looking for me. So always watch where you're going.
It puts the lotion in the basket. 13 hours. Wow.
Yep.
You got a question for me?
Yes. For those, this is a question that had been asked us online.
Okay.
Sometimes people get a misconception about ghost hunting.
Okay.
Some people, to us, they feel that if you're in a building, that you are opening doors and inviting things in by simply asking. So for the viewers out here that have a totally wrong idea or right idea, in their opinion, can you explain to them exactly what the ghost hunting is about, what you're doing?
So I will say you can easily open a door. There's things called divinity tools, Ouija boards, spirit boxes. We don't mess with none of that. But you can open a door. But what we do is we actually go in and close those doors. Now, we can only do that based on if the people who own the house wants to take authority of those homes. We close those doors. But overall, if you're doing an investigation for the right purpose, just not getting your jollies watching scary movies or whatever, which that's fine. Some people like that. But as an investigator, we want to make sure that you're comfortable in your home. It's your sanctuary. That's what we want to do. So we make sure those doors aren't closed. We prepare ourselves before, after, and even during investigations we have to.
Well, you have to really look at the intent and purpose of each group.
Yep.
You have groups that are out there that just want to come in and document activity, whether it's through audio, video, or what have you. And then you have others that the client is wanting some legit help. Hey, I've got these things going on, so is your philosophy is to come in, find out what's here, document that, and then now help me know how to resolve what's here so I can be at peace.
And something that we do there's other teams that do this, but first and foremost, we try to prove that there's not a haunted.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Debunk it.
Yeah.
Debunk it. That's the first and foremost thing that we do, because I have had, unfortunately, the ability to run into teams before where any little thing that they find, whether it be an orb, don't get me started, or some EMF spike somewhere, they're like, oh, there must be a ghost here. Uncle Billy must be hanging out with us. No. We try to go in and find all the natural explanations we can beforehand, and then once you rule out the natural, then of course you have to start looking at the supernatural options.
To answer your question, just like Ed was touching on, there are tools, investigator tools that are out there that can be used, that can be doorways and can open up things. So it just depends on what your tool of choice is, depending on what group you are.
In most of our emergency cases, and that's why you want to be careful. If you ever have a team that you want to call in, shoot us a message. We'll give you our honest opinion. Or if you have a question, just reach out to us.
Just do your research.
We've been called in emergency cases where people go in and just kick the hornet's nest, then go, well, thanks for the evidence, they walk out. Now you're at home by yourself with all this stuff going on. Yeah. And that's not what we do.
I'd like to thank our guest tonight, Paranormal Help Ministries, and tune in again for more cigar, whiskeys, and murder. Bourbon, if you would get the door, and we have a low budget here, so we really can't pay you. We have to kill the guest. So you would, Bourbon, get the door.
Call a Bible.
It's dark for them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alright, so this is a little light switch. You control that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jimmy, I don't want to, and I'm not going to. I don't think it'll be wise on our part. Just that wall down there.
Not until we prepare ourselves.
No.
But that's also based on the client, too.
Alright.
All right.
So, place those over your eyes.
Don't mess up my hair.
Right.
So this is again, Phil. I've never done this before.
It's pointed at us.
Oh, he's got the knife.
I'm going to hold it.
Once I get all the setup done. It's already recording, so.
All right.
Because this is dark, I don't have a flashlight, so then I'll be able to see better this way. I was just your eyes,
So this is the.
You don't need ping pong.
Okay, he has ping pong balls on his eyes.
Holy cow, that's nice.
I'm going to do one more pass.
Yeah, buddy.
So everybody watching, what this does is it's a sensory deprivation experiment. So right now Ed cannot see.
Hang on,
I can see a shadow.
hang on,
So that's just, I can barely see that. So I mean, that's not that far.
So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on because I've learned from experience if I put these on you and then I turn the white noise on, it scares you to death. So it's already going to be on. And so what I'm going to do is I'm putting headphones on him with white noise. He won't be able to see what's going on. You ready, sir?
Not really.
Well, you look fabulous.
Yeah, well, I am extremely nervous, by the way, and please, just a warning, I'm not saying we're professionals, there's no such thing in this field, but Mike and Leah always have had my back and vice versa. This is a dangerous experiment, especially if you're a control freak, so let's go for it.
It does cut you off, and the whole theory behind this is it's supposed to open you up. So.
And when we're ready to stop it, Ed, where do you want to be touched? So
that's very important. So
Top of my noggin.
okay.
It's the most sensitive. Well, it'll be wet too, but.
So you make the call when you're ready for us to turn it off, and I will come, and the first thing I'll do is touch you here. All right?
Roger, Dodger.
All right.
Now, if you see anything when we go dark, please tell everybody. If you hear something, now if something touches me, I'm going to try to calmly say it.
Everything you experience, make sure you're
verbalizing
it, please.
And I'm putting a chair right here because the cord on the laptop is not long enough to reach. So I got to set that up there so you don't jerk the cord out of the laptop.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
Here we go. All right, and we're going dark. Can you see him on night vision?
Not really well.
How about now?
A lot better.
Have you got the night vision turned on?
I don't know how to do any of that.
Let me take a look at it. Yes. Plus, I'm also going to be strobing light at him, so.
Do you have your anointing oil ready?
I do.
Have it out.
Can you see him on the camera now?
Yeah. So the flickering is a strobe light.
I'm hearing laughing.
Since I'm usually the one that's being experimented on, what do y'all usually do out here? Do you ask questions, or is it just silence?
Well, we take a few minutes. We see what he picks up on.
Okay.
If things start to kind of get quiet, we will try to project things. For those listening, this experiment started out as in Germany. Gansfeld is a German word for entire field. And what they would do is they would set someone up similar to what we're doing right here, and then another subject would go in another room and would write words and draw pictures.
Okay.
Try to mentally project them.
I don't know if there's somebody over there.
And I know you can't hear me, but know yourself, man. You can't do this. Get out of it. I've never had you on this side of it. Are you picking up anything that he's giving?
Yes, I am. And
what was over here? I keep feeling something move.
he's dead on, and now I have the silence in my ears that we've talked about before.
Okay. So there is something standing to his right.
No,
Or
to his left.
My right, excuse me. Talk it out, talk it out.
Did somebody walk in front of me? It just went completely black.
If y'all are watching, I have not taken the strobe off of him yet. Are we getting anything from the chat?
Huh?
You're not looking at the chat.
I'm not even paying attention.
I'll pull it up on my phone so you can focus. Guys, if you've been commenting, bear with me.
I'm feeling something running this way.
I am not going to leave him in this long.
Yeah, he won't pull himself out. He'll try to focus on it too long.
And it keeps building and building and building. So I'm going to only give him just a little bit more time,
Okay.
and I'm going to have you pull him out.
That's fine. I'm with you.
Because it's going to start saying things to him. And that needs to stop before
I'm hearing breathing,
Here we go.
labored breathing.
Lord Jesus, protect him. Watch over him right now. Father God, I ask that you just watch over him right now with nothing bother him, Father. Protect him right now, Lord Jesus.
I feel a female
There we go.
finger in their face. Why are you doing this right here?
Put oil on your fingers
Mm-hmm.
and touch the top of his head and pull him
A
out.
little closer now. I went black again. I don't know what that's about, but I went black.
That might have been...
I'm still black.
Okay.
Is the strobe working?
Stop
I'm black.
and out.
Out.
Okay.
All right. I pulled you out, Ed, because it was going to start talking to you, and it didn't need to.
Yeah, it was.
I'm turning the overhead light on.
It was going to be just like the.
Are we still on?
You're about to hear some
Yeah.
cassette tape stuff.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
What is that?
What?
Oh, I see. I hope I see.
It is.
Whew! Okay.
That was intense.
Yeah, it was.
Are we still on with it?
Yeah, we're still.
Yeah, now the only time there at the end, like I even still had the strobe on you when you said it went black, and I came down here to come get you out.
Where's the flashlight so I can have some better lighting?
No, the first time it went black, something moved. But the last time it was, I know it's going to sound typical, but it's like the granny, now we've got ants.
We had ants last night.
Okay.
Yeah, when we were packing up, I forgot about that.
It was not why I'm here. I think it was just her nature going, why are you doing this? You're a disappointment. I've never been proud of you. Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? But this thing over here, I'm talking about, it was intimidating.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, and it didn't say a word. It didn't. It was.
It was going to.
It was. Yeah, it was coming at me.
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, it was. Y'all pulled me out, but it was. But when it came out my face, that got me. And the weird thing is, not now. At the beginning, the strobe light was kaleidoscoping. In different colors, which doesn't make sense because it's a white strobe.
No, I was gonna say it's that.
Yeah, so.
So that was your first time.
I mean, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I have no sensitivity. I don't have any common sense probably, but it's, you know, and this is the one thing paranormal investigators need to keep in mind. Sorry, as I use my TD Jakes foot towel. Some people might get that. But from an investigator point of view, you can only do what you can. But I mean, this is, I mean, we push ourselves, but we also got to be able, you know, first and foremost, our safety is more important than anything else.
It just really, it humbles you to a point to how small we really are, and if it weren't for God, we would not be able to do any of this.
I'm telling you, if I didn't know any better, someone was running up and down that hallway. And I'm talking about a big somebody.
Yeah.
Like right now, or?
No, during the strobe.
Yeah.
It was someone walking with a purpose, to use an Amazon slang.
Yeah.
But here's the stuff like, to me this is not my skill set. Confusion, sadness, and what I mean by sadness was as a, if you scolded a child too harsh, sadness. That's what I felt if I was the child when that woman stood above me.
Yeah.
And that's intense.
It's devastating.
Did anybody pick anything up there on that?
Honestly, I was not watching the chat because I wanted to make sure I was on point for you.
Okay, so
My greatest fear was to take off running to the rail.
there is stuff that people picked up on, but before we go into that. Guys, I don't normally do this on camera, but I feel like he needs it right now.
I don't know if they can hear you.
Yeah, so what Mike's going to do, he's going to bless me.
No, you're going to take communion, you need it.
Oh, yeah.
This is Christ's body given in remembrance of him. Take communion. This is his blood that was given for our sins. It is a symbol of the new covenant.
That's warm. No, I mean, coming off my back's warm now.
Good.
That answers my question.
Yeah.
I wipe it off my sweater.
Heavenly Father, I just want to come right now, Lord, just to thank you for this time, Lord. Just to ask you to give Ed peace right now, Lord. He's been through a lot. He's seen things that he hasn't seen before, Lord. And I just ask, Lord, you give him peace right now during this, Lord. Help him be able to wrap his mind around it. You are God. You are the sovereign God, the creator of the universe. You sent your son Jesus to die for our sins, Lord. I just ask, Lord, I want to thank you for this opportunity, Lord, to serve with my brother. And you just give him peace and clarity of mind right now in Christ's name. Amen.
Okay.
One thing I will say, I have this natural unhealthy, and I clearly say unhealthy attraction to go do this again.
Yeah.
And this is something investigated.
It can be like a drug sometimes, honestly.
And that's where investigators get messed up.
Yeah.
Because when you're around the one thing that our team is different. We absolutely have different personalities. We know when we come into a place and we start having disagreements right off the bat, we usually know. We've made the mistake a while back that to have a normal investigation, we realize that's not what we're called to do. So we always prepare for the worst and pray for the best.
So to share what others were seeing, Jimmy, this is going way back to when it first started. Jimmy saw a black hand, said it was reaching for the top of your head. Eric Morrison said you leaned away from something. Mm-hmm. Something was reaching for your head. Whatever was downstairs has followed you upstairs. And then when we pulled you out, Jimmy said he seriously had a black hand trying to touch his head, and I heard laughing.
Yeah. So that's the first time I've heard that, and I believe I said most of that. Being bald, my head is naturally sensitive. But I was intimidated, but not afraid. This was just to show we could have done things like, we could have ran it. I had my suspicions. That's all I'll say. You could get real fancy and run the earpiece in your ear. And somebody could be feeding me the questions or things you're saying, and I could be repeating it. There's nothing here.
You should do this.
I'll be all the way through.
I can take the camera.
Before or after?
Are you going to do it?
This is one of the reasons why we came up here.
What do you think?
Do you want to do it before? Then I guess that would be up to you.
The reason why I decided to come up here, one, I don't feel comfortable in this location up here. And I'm personally not strong enough to be in that room and done this. It would have been bad. So I'll give you a shot.
And this is Christ's body, sacrificed for you.
We appreciate it. It's all about making people empowered. You know, we all have children. That's the thing for me, and honestly, for everybody. This right here is where I feel intimidated. Don't know why.
I'll go.
But if you have any questions, we are seriously here to help. We don't care about being on TV. We don't care about all that. But we definitely want to tell everybody thank you so much for watching this tonight.
Absolutely.
One thing that we will, when we did the daytime, you're right, Jimmy. It's, you know, I'm a big crier. I know that's kind of hard to believe. I'm a big fat guy with a beard, but to see those children be able to sleep in their bed at night and mom and dad feel comfortable at home, that's it for us. And it's the same thing for investigators. They go out.
Want me to do it?
He'll need to take the camera then so I can set you ready.
Where do you want me to do it at?
Where do you want to do it at?
But we.
Your choice.
Ask them. All right, everybody.
You are. You absolutely are, Jimmy.
Got a question for the room. Well, Ed, I'm going to point the camera at you while you point the camera at me.